Okay, good. I think we are live. Yes. Yes, we are. Oh, okay. Testing one, two, testing. Testing one, two, testing. Okay. Think we had some mix up there just now that took me a little while to come on back. What happened is that this software that is handling the radio station and the online, the live feed, which is a live stream, wasn't going well. So we got that sorted out. I hope to those who are listening to me via the live stream on the GMS Live Radio is hearing me. I hope so that you are. I can't retract in back the same information because I will be booted off the air. I think I gotta handle that a different way. Uh, I'm trying to use one instrument to do both things. I am, but it's not allowing me to. So by the way, though, we got to get on stream. We got to get on back live. So, okay, good. So this afternoon's discussion. Oh yes, black love to you all. These are the t-shirts that are out. I collected some today to those who ordered. Will be having theirs, especially locally home in Guyana. I did not too long pick them up, and I'm trying to get them sorted out and distributed. So, black love to you all. To those who are looking, good evening to you. This is Dr. Matthews from Guyana to the Caribbean and around the world. Welcome to you. I know I was missing for a couple of days, especially Monday and Tuesday. Uh, I had to get some things done, and it cost me 2 days of not being able to broadcast to you. So, to those who are now joining, share the live. Black love to you all. Black love to you all. We the people. That's a discussion tonight. You know, I was listening to the news tonight. You know, it's amazing when people try to take advantage of some people, try to take advantage of the situation to some people, and not only take advantage of those people, but to try to dictate to them, to those who are looking to try to dictate to them what they think is right for them. I was listening to the newscast today, especially from Newsroom, and surprisingly, they were talking about the electric cycles that Guyanese use to and fro from work. Now, before I get into that discussion, I want to make it simply clear to all those who are looking. You know, you know why the police force and the de facto administration and the road safety committee or commission or whatever you want to call them are making a lot of noise about these electric motorcycles. Here why? The insurance company are making no money. The people who are importing these motorcycles, not electric cycles, are not getting sales, helmets wouldn't be sold, spare parts wouldn't be sold, and gasoline wouldn't be sold. So you have a reduction in an economic capacity. And because you have a reduction in an economic capacity, there's some noise now is being making in the business community. And when I say noise, I mean noise, right? And just hold a minute for me, please. Right. I was getting a message, so I'm making sure that I receive the information that is being given to me. Yes. So the noise now that I've been making, it is the noise for, hey bro, we ain't gonna make no money. We don't make any money. What going on now with these electric motorcycles? The business community is not being making money. So apparently the Chinese now are making the money because they're importing these electric cycles. They're not moto, they are cycles. Electric cycles that are being driven by electricity. So now all these electric cycles that are coming are under 45cc. Now the laws of Guyana says, not the principle, the laws says anything under 45cc, you don't have to wear a helmet because it is not required of you to wear a helmet anything under 45cc. But suddenly, they want people who are riding these electric motorcycles to wear a helmet. That's one. Number two, not only to wear a helmet, but to have a driver's license. You must be licensed to drive one of these electric cycles. And they want one person on a cycle and nobody below the age, I think they said 17 or 14, something of that sort. Now, what we got to understand that when laws are being created to comfort the business community, I want you to understand that these people who are doing business, the laws are created for them to benefit, not you. Imagine 400 electric cycles being sold within a month. People are preferring to buy an electric cycle which causes $220,000 to buy a motorcycle which causes the same amount of money, 110cc. Check it out. People prefer to buy an electric cycle than to buy a motorcycle, which is gas driven, for the same price. There are motorcycles who are being sold for at least $220,000, and there's electric cycles being sold for the same price. And the cheapest you can get one is about 98 or 80 something thousand dollars, and it has been sold out. Believe you me, from since you turn around, you see an electric cycle. Now, you got to understand where the craziness is from. If you check the lanes that are being now painted and lined, they are lanes for cyclists. Could be the same lane for electric cyclists, and cyclists can be ridden at any age. So why isn't there an age limit for cyclists also too? Do you know why? There's a reduction in everything where an electric cyclist is concerned. He or she doesn't have to buy gas. He or she doesn't have to travel in public transportation. He or she doesn't have to wait on the traffic to get to work. He or she doesn't have to be humbugged by anyone, the police, nobody. But suddenly there's an outcry. Suddenly there's an outcry because I can bring my motorcycle in, my electric cycle in, and I can plug it up to the wall and I can charge it. Or it has been customized now. These guys are buying the little motorcycle batteries and equip the electric cycle with a coil. So what happens now? That coil is a rechargeable coil. As the wheel spins, the coil is charged. The coil is now charging the battery. So you don't have to even plug it up. It's continuous riding, right from here to Linden, or right from here to Barbies. Doesn't matter where I ride. Once I keep on riding, doesn't it seem more economical for the citizens who cannot afford public transportation? Doesn't it seem more economical for citizens who cannot afford to buy gas at $260 per liter? Doesn't it seem economical? Doesn't it seem economical for citizens who cannot afford to maintain a motorcycle at least once or twice a month than can buy the electric cycle where he or she doesn't have to put air into the wheel because it's more or less a rubbered wheel. The entire wheel is rubber. When it's done, it's done. You gotta buy another one and put it on back. Doesn't it seem more economical for citizens who cannot afford to send 2 or 3 children to school? You can put them on the same electric motorcycle and you can ride them to school. Doesn't it seem more economical? Why do I suddenly have to buy a helmet for an electric cycle that doesn't develop the speed of more than 49 cc's? Why suddenly? All the time people riding them nice little motorcycle, we got less than them little rockers motorcycle. You could imagine one of those rockers motorcycle, which is less than 49, 45 cc. One of those cycle was nearly 700 something $1,000. A car money. Now they have an electric cycle, which is far less the cc. I think the highest is 30, 35 or 36 cc. One of those electric cycles that are driven. Anybody can get on it because it cuts the cost of the system. The system still wants you to spend money. The business community is not making money on that, so they're complaining bitterly. So they're forcing that's what they do in every government, not only this de facto administration. The business community does that to every government in the most evoluted, the most economical country and the less economical. They do that. They do that to make sure that the economy works in their favor. So they're crying out bitterly. It's competition. You're crying out bitterly, competition. You got to learn to compete. You can't cry to make people's lives more unhappy. People can't afford it already. You got rice farmers who are complaining, making a lot of protests. Yes, they're on the protest line. They're on the protest line and they're making sure that their voices are being heard. They're on that protest line, believe you me. Because the economical situation is not working in the best of their interest. It's common sense. Where do we go from here now? I can't imagine the Road Safety Commission, that woman that went on the news today to talk about these electrical motorcycles. She's comfortable in her car. She must have never had a bad day yet in her life. I'm guaranteeing you that. Must have never had a bad day yet. She is comfortable, but she has to listen to the business community. And they're making the decisions in favor of the business community. Look at the areas in which they're complaining about. One of them, too much people on electric motorcycle. It is cutting the cost. Do you know how much cost are you cutting in transportation in people's pocket? It is cutting that cost. One person riding from Freedom Hoop to Georgetown every single day to sell, to apply a trade of providing food for the public. It is cutting costs in her pocket. These are the best ways to make an economy and the people comfortable. So they're making noise about that. Then, because the helmets are not selling, lots of electric cycles are selling, but not the helmets. They're complaining about that too, because the businessmen who bring in helmets to sell, to at least to comfort the motorcyclist and the insurance company, can't get his helmet sell. So he's crying out to the Road Safety Commission or the Road Safety Board or whatever you call them. So he's crying out to them to make sure that at least they must be heard. Business got to be usual. And these are the areas that they're highlighting. One, too many people on electric motorcycle. Two, no helmet. Then they're making sure that Guyana Revenue Authority makes money also too. Hear what they're saying now. They're proposing that you must be a licensed driver to ride one of these electric cycles. They're making sure that you're a licensed driver. They want you to be a licensed driver. They don't have no time with you at all. You can cry how much you want. They're making sure that you are a licensed driver and you're licensed to drive an electric motorcycle. You better believe it, when that bill is proposed in Parliament, it is going to pass with a one seat majority. What? Make more money off of you. Because if it can't make it one way, it gotta make it the other way. Then they're complaining, same Road Safety Commission, talking about these electric motorcycles moving in and out of traffic. There's a reason for it. It is to reduce the time in which you come to work. It is reducing the time from which you use to come to apply to your trade so you can be there early. That's the reason for the electric cycles. There's a reason why people are buying it. It would be real stupidity not to buy it for that particular reason. Everybody you interview about it is telling you the same thing. That the reason why they're buying these electric cycles is to make sure that they can meet early to apply their trade in which they're employed in. It's simple common sense. And the fourth one, reducing the cost of public transportation and the dangers it carries. Now, if I don't want to travel with the minibus, or I don't want to travel with the taxi service because it's expensive, because remember now, the taxi service is telling you, well, boy, I got to raise me fee because gas raise. So does the transportation services, the minibus. They're telling you plain they gotta raise the fee because gas raised. Now imagine if you go home, plug up your motorcycle, your electric cycle, plug it up to charge. You get up in the morning, it's fully charged. It's supposed to last you a whole day to go to work or wherever you're going and come back because you've already did that feasibility study. You're gone. You haven't spent not a cent. Not a cent. Imagine if you're living in Freedom Hoop or you living in Diamond. Imagine if you're living in Diamond and you gotta find $180 to go and $180 to come. That's $40 short, $400. That's every day. Now, you plug up your electric motorcycle. That same $360 could stay in your pocket to the use of something beneficiary. It can go back to your household or it can go back to the bills that you have to pay. It's going to be economical for you. But these people are sitting down there making decisions without even consulting the general public. Here, who they consult to create such a bill: the Ghana Police Force, the Road Safety Commission, and the government. These are the people that they consult with to make decisions for the general public who doesn't even got to worry how they're gonna meet to work because I have a driver and the gas is free since it's government gas that they're using. And the road safety commission or the road safety, whatever you call them, I'm sure who's a businessman who works where or who gets a lot of economic benefits wherever they go. They're not feeling it. You imagine they want to make decisions based upon what they think. It's not making their lives uncomfortable. They're already comfortable wherever they are. But just because the general public decide to make economical cuts so they can survive in a climate that is rapidly growing economically, it's a problem. The de facto regime doesn't want that. No, you can't. It's impossible. How you make economical cuts that means you gonna meet me just now? You're climbing up the ladder. I gotta keep you down below the economical scale of the ladder. That's how it is. Whether you like it or not, it's how it is. Now, backpedal. Imagine how they want to make it uncomfortable for you, the general public. Backpedal on it. Now, they only want to make it uncomfortable for you. Now they're trying to make sure that you pay extra for the use of that. They don't care. They want to make sure that you don't benefit from buying something like that. It's hard for you. You're not supposed to benefit. So now you got to make sure. I wanted to know which driver's license that they're talking about. Since when the GRA gonna produce a driver's license to riding what, an electric cycle? So what happened to the pedal cycle? Is best you produce a license to ride the pedal cycle. Best you do that. Because if you gotta be licensed to ride an electric cycle, so what happened to the pedal cycle? Since there's an age limit for the electric cycle or a proposed age limit, what happened to the pedal cycle? Best they got a proposed age limit too for the pedal cycle. You know, you gotta be really serious and looking at these petty matters. That why are they so interested in it? It might sound petty, but they're seeing it as an economical cut that they are not involved in. Because when you castrate, when you make an economical castration, like what the general public is doing now, the business community feels it. So they don't like it. Because you're gonna come and roll up and buy gas. You're gonna go and buy the helmet. There's no spare parts to be bought because after then you got to throw it away. So they're making it stronger enough for you to last a little longer. Um, no insurance are being paid, no license, no helmet. You gotta check it out. They got six different factors of the economical castration. Six. They don't like it. Now here was the bottom line. You know why they're making such a rule? Because look who's benefiting from these electrical cycles. The black population, which is heavily dependent upon transportation and going to and from work, or going to and from their source of trade and business. They don't want you to climb that ladder. Yes, predominantly the black population. They are buying these electric cycles. You turn around, you look, you see them on it. And they're going to school. One man got three of his children comfortable on this electric cycle. The more weight it carries is the more less speed it goes because it's electrically driven. So I don't see the dangers of it. Oh, they're going to say no. Well, it's an electric pedal, an electric cycle. So what happened to the pedal cycle when the man is dropping each feature into school on it? Isn't the pedal cycle more dangerous? They say you're hearing when the electric motorcycles are the side of you, but you're hearing when the pedal cycles are the side of you too. You got to study where sense and stupidness mix together. How stupid it's going to feel. And you can imagine the news media's covering this absolute absurdity. There are far more important things for you to cover. They're covering this, but fine, you're covering, but you're telling the fact who are the most affected population or ethnic group that are affected by such a decision, if so be the case. It's the black population, the working population. Oh no, I can't talk anything about that. I'll sound too racist. I don't know since when we are racists. We can't. I had a whole coverage on that today. From 1 o'clock this afternoon on the radio, the GMS Live Radio Guyana. I had a whole coverage about that. Because we see a way how to economically castrate the business community. The vex, they're using the same system now to oppress us even more. Can you imagine? You could barely survive with the salary they're giving you to get your transportation from and to work. When the month come, you got to do so much cutbacks just to survive at $300 a day transportation. And you suddenly save up your money to buy an electric cycle where you don't have to pay nothing to the revenue authority, nothing to the business community, nothing to the fuel, the guy oil or the shells or whatever you call them. You don't have to buy a helmet to wear nothing because it's under 49cc. Suddenly, it's a problem for them. Suddenly, it's a problem for them. So, what's the next thing to do? Squeeze the government. Got the police force. Imagine the police force. I want to say this to the commissioner of police. There are more crimes in this country than to study about electric cycles that doesn't affect you at all. I have never heard so far of any major traffic incident causing an electric cycle. Never. Never. But The population of the ethnic group that you're affecting majority is the African Guyanese or the black population. Because we can't afford them fancy cars y'all driving. We can't even afford the simple ones. Because people seeing it a way now to buy it off the internet and ship it in, which can cost less. Because the car dealership used to tell you bring $1 million in driveway one. Now they're asking for $400,000 and drive one. That's what they're asking you now. For $400,000 and drive one because people have seen the opportunity in which to derail themselves away from the business community that is taking advantage of them. They have done it in so many ways in Guyana. Now you're trying to capitalize on a little small change that people got in the pocket. You want it out the pocket. You're making lives harder for Guyanese, Mr. Commissioner of Police. You're making harder for Guyanese. Imagine how hard is it that you're trying to make it. Now you're trying to tell them that you got to be licensed to ride one of these electric cycles. I know it's the amazing thing. You're going to ask two people, two persons you're going to ask, a nurse and a seller who's selling food. The nurse is completely right. She says it makes it easier for her because it's less worrisome. She don't have to find all that money when the months come to work or to travel. But she stopped short in saying that she agrees with the commissioner of police in the way in which he's trying to make it a law or trying to look about and getting the consensus to table that document in parliament so it can be passed. It's an everyday talk. They're mentioning it now in the news media steady because they want us to get accustomed to hearing it. So we gotta wait until the law come out. So people like Gavin Matthews, no, I can't get accustomed to it, and I'm going to rebel against that because you're making life unnecessary for those that are intended to have life as normal, to enjoy life as normal. You can't do that to people. You can't try to castrate people, castrate the business community. That's what you gotta do. They're making enough money. Let them find other ways in making money. It's competition. Not because suddenly they neighbor with the competition to crying out. One man said if the electric motorcycle take over Guyana, the police can't get a bribe. Oh my gosh. I tell you what. But I'm serious. You check it how many people are losing money and how many people are gaining. Those who are losing money is less than 1%. The ones who are gaining the money is far more than 15, 20, 60% of the population. They are the ones who are supposed to gain money. They are the ones whose lives are supposed to be comfortable. Before you study and talk about creating a lane, the same lane that you got for cyclists, the same lane that you got for electric cyclists, so they can ride to and from their destination. That's what you need to say. You need to say that. You need to create a lane which is much comfortable for them so they can ride. They can use that lane to ride. To carry them to and from work. That's what you need to do. Talk about creating a safety zone for the use of electric cyclists. But you don't want to talk about the safety zone. Here what you talking about to make the lives more uncomfortable. Imagine you want to talk about creating is oh Lord. Mm. The seven stupidness knock it is really knock. This is real stupidness tonight. And they bring out somebody from the road safety commission. I've never heard about her yet in my life. And the thing is that she look black. They bring she out to talk about the safe. No, they bring her out to talk about the proposed document that she thinks is going to work for the best interest of the electric cycle, not the cyclists' electric cycle. Believe you me, I gotta shake my head at all this nonsense that's going on. But by the way, though, I ain't done talk yet. Still got to talk about the de facto administration. Still have to talk about the de facto administration. Now imagine you tell the rice farmers, look, we can give you $65,000 a ton for paddy. And when the rice farmer turn up at the miller writing a check for 61,000 per ton for paddy. But you know what? Rice farmers still can't afford it. That's why it's a depleting commodity in Guyana. Because imagine a rice farmer who only making 10 tons of paddy in harvest time. 10 tons, sometimes 15. Imagine the fuel, the cost of the fuel, the cost of the service per machine, the tractor. Imagine all of that they have to ascertain out of the cost per ton per paddy. Imagine all of that. And imagine the rice farmer who has to combine his paddy with two, three, four, five, six, or 10 others so they can make up a good amount of tons of paddies so one check can be written and they can benefit from it. Imagine that. Because that's what happens in the quarantine, that's what happens in Berbice. And on the Escribo coast, that's what happens. The farmers, the small rice farmers have to accumulate their rice, their paddy, to make sure they make up 2, 3, 4, 10, 15, 20 tons to be sold all together at $65,000 per ton. And I have to take care of their whole household until next harvest season. The overhead costs, the labor costs, the fuel costs, the transportation costs, all of that, they have to subdue themselves with just to accept a $65,000 per ton. What happened to the rice farmers that has to plant at least 10 acres of rice? And I'm sure you can get in 10 tons out of the 10 acres. Those who get more than 10 tons out of the 10 acre, good luck for them. Good luck for that person. But imagine all of that money is going to the millers and not the rice farmer. When he sells it, he or she sells it. And I'm talking about the millers who goes to the government to get subsidies of the rice that are being sold. Because I'm sure they have to use the Guyana Rice Board to get that rice sold or to get it on a ship going to a different country so they can make their money. That check could be written, given to them. I'm 100% sure. But here is the problem: a simple economic value like rice causes some people to come out and protest, boots on the ground, and the de facto administration scrambling like if there's a war. We got to get the jet fighters to represent them. I tell y'all, in this country, the only way this de facto terrorist organization listens, the People's Progressive Terrorists Party, the only way they listen is when you apply pressure via way of protest. They don't like what they're seeing on social media. Their constituencies turning up to protest. One man said, me vote for him. Me put him where I'm there. You can't come back to me and ask me for no more vote. Because you know why? Them feeling the squeeze. So they got protests. Because the own people with them a vote for. I lie to them every single day. They're taking away the money out of the pocket, depriving them of economic culture and good growth. I tell you all already, the People's Progressive Terrorist Party don't even care about their constituency that they voted for. The more they deprive them, is the more that is it. They don't care. But we, on the other hand, we have been deprived barefacedly. Hold on. $65,000 per ton make people come out and protest. We are being given 7.5%, which is $4,500. A difference from those who have been getting $250,000 each, guys, Suku, and we coming out for protests. They give the rice farmers 60,000 per ton per paddy, and they come out and protest for 65,000 or $70,000. And we look the difference. They come out to protest for $5,000, $10,000 extra. We are being given $4,500, and somebody else has been getting $250,000. Look the difference. The difference is $245,000 difference. And we ain't coming out to protest. Nothing. We ain't even shaking. We ain't even shaking it or bake it. Nothing at all. Nothing. We ain't coming out and protest. We ain't even hollering. We ain't even hollering. But a time is coming when we are going to be presented with an economy that are not naturally producing but external consumers of an external goods. We are on our way to losing our food security in this country if we don't look sharp and stop consuming the things in bottles and cans that are coming externally into this country. We are importing these things on a large scale basis and we are consuming these things greatly by the way of depleting our naturally grown product economy and market system. We are. If we do not look sharp, we wouldn't have a food security, we wouldn't have an economy that is naturally producing consumable items in this country anymore. Seriously. I mean, we complain, look at it. Check, we complain how expensive is the local produce in this country. But we're not complaining how expensive is the imported produce that are coming to Guyana because it's being sold in the supermarket. We don't want to complain. We want to show that we're living a different life. We want to show that we are we are up there. Walk into the supermarket and buy the things off the shelf and fill up our trolley and trays. And when you reach up to the counter, the price is 100 and something thousand dollars and you pay it comfortable. But to go into the market to buy our naturally grown produce, we ain't gonna spend the kind of money in the market at all. We're not going to spend that kind of money in the market. The market is seeing you, but we want less out of our naturally grown economy for more to be spent at the imported grown economy. Our business people doesn't know good business sense. We don't know to invest locally. We take a businessman all the way from wherever we come from, Canada or wherever we come from, to go till over the river to invest in a milk plant. You know the milk plant he investing in? It's from the natural produced cow milk from Guyana, up the side, up the quarantine. Yes, this we going and invest in. But to help to have us to invest in that local economy, we're not. I'll be honest with you. Today I went on the road to see what I can buy, and I was looking for some of the black businesses that I want to buy from. I ain't finding them. I was looking for some of the local business people also too. I ain't finding them. Because from since you turn around the corner, you see a Chinese. From since you turn around the other corner, you see a Asian. You don't see nobody at all. It look like all the local businessmen are selling out. They're renting out to the Chinese. You understand? It appears so. We got to make sure that these things do work for, in the best interest of each other. Hold on. I got to set back this camera again. This camera is off. Good. Yes. If we don't help to educate each other as Guyanese, believe you me, we ain't gonna profit. We got to start educating each other. Whether be black, East Asian, Amerindian, Portuguese, because this particular de facto regime that we have here ain't want none of we be educated. None. They want us to remain dumb and senile, and the ones them that picks up for them and agree with their line of governance, believe you me, ain't know nothing. Ain't know nothing. They ain't know nothing. Some of them ain't want no interest in educating. Politically, economically, nothing. They depend upon this de facto administration to feed them the narrative, the racist narrative, the destructive narrative. That is why I take upon myself to educate my people about these black love, which is true love. And not only educate them, but let them know where the economic is, the black economic, to teach them to understand that we can be privileged just like those who are privileged more than us. All we have to do is to share the same knowledge and interest of circular economics so we can have the same privilege just like all of them. Believe you me, I'd be a stupid person if I don't want to be privileged. And yes, to those who are looking, to the one them that are looking, yes, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram. Just type in. All you gotta do is type in the Gavin Matthews Show, and I'll pop right up. I cannot be hidden. Education is a process to black love. To those who are looking, I love it. I love this process. This is what makes me strong, to edify my people, to inform them, to have them equipped in knowledge and wisdom so we can fight against oppression. We can fight against every destructive element that this terrorist regime brings to us and to their constituency also, to those who are looking. I call them my East Asian brothers and sisters. I know they love to be called Indians, but I look at the meaning of the word Indian. That's why I say East Asian. But to my East Asian brothers and sisters, I could only do so much. If you yourself doesn't want to understand where am I coming from. But this government that you so like, that you voted for, this de facto regime, doesn't care anything about you. They don't even like you. They just uphold you because they think that you think like them. You want to think one-sided. So they only think for themselves, and they like that. They like that you like that. But they don't care anything about you. What they're doing is just to set a bait to lure you in, to capitalize from you, to take from you. That's what they're doing. So the less educated you become, it is better for them. So they could always stand up and say, look, vote for me because I one of your own. Well, the Black Love movement under the GMS Live Voice of Democracy is not about voting for me, it's to become a strong voting bloc. It is to demand your place in society. It is to demand that you be given the same privileges. So when you become that voting bloc, they can't mess with you. They got to comply because they might lose an election if they don't involve you in their electoral process because you're a strength of the economy. But if you're not a strength of the economy, then you have no place in the system or the political system. That's how it works around the world in a democracy, as they claim, a democracy. They only look after people who have the strength in place and a voice to be heard. With us who don't have, well, not me, I got a voice. You see the got me before the court for me voice. I got a voice, so when I talk, boys tremble. Suddenly I cause an emotional distress. Out of all the social media cohorts, I cause an emotional distress. But you got to make sure, we got to make sure that our purpose is continuous progression. It's not for the reduction of ourselves because we may be the darker race. You see me? Like how I look, huh? My complexion is the same color of the jersey in which I have, or the t-shirt in which I have on, and I love it. It makes me a strong man, makes me a king, makes me a revolutionist, gives me power. When people see the darker side of the darker color of me, they mustn't tremble, they must respect me because they know I'm not a person that they stick nonsense with. But I'm not only here for those who look like me, I'm here for those who doesn't look like me, and I'm saying to you, you have your privilege. I need mine too. Don't try to deny me of what is rightfully mine. I must be privileged. I must stand strong and not only accept what belongs to me, but to let the world knows that this belongs to me. You can't take it from me. I would not accept, retract, retreat, nor surrender any oppressive way in any government or terrorist organization. Suddenly we here, you know what's amazing with this de facto regime? I just call them want to be terrorists who we got there. Suddenly they walk and pick up the chest. You know? If you see them, because they tell themselves they're in power, when they see me, they gotta tuck the tail between the foot and run like a little boy. Because I could put me chest up in the air, I'm frightened nobody. So because me frighten them, check and see. They're running like them little guinea pigs to find a fast corner for hide. When I show my face, boys respect me. When I show myself, I earn respect because I'm not being afraid. I am what I stand for the purpose of black strength, black empowerment, black privilege. We must have those things. When you take those things away from a society of a people, then you're oppressing them. You will always find revolutionists like me who will rise up against any oppressive system. And I ain't taking no for no answer. No buying and threatening me. Because I'm serious about it. But I want to say, I thank you all for those who joined me for this hour. It's a blessing to see you. I know I had to redo the show again, but it's okay. I am so blessed to have you here this evening. Black love to you all. The call me. Don't forget to call the number below your screen there to place your orders. And when I mean place your orders, not to find out. Yes, it's to find out also to was to place your orders because I can only take orders. I don't have all these t-shirts in a bundle. It'll be impossible to have it in a bundle when it's hard for me to sell it to you. I can only have when you place your orders. I don't have it in a bundle to sell it back. When you place your orders, you get the prints and what is available. Okay? So call the number below your screen, and there are persons who in from overseas. There is overseas numbers that I can give to you, so you can call and have those orders done. I will have to call them. You gotta call me to place your orders, and I will give you the information on who you will receive your t-shirts from. I already have some cups that I have to deliver, and t-shirts, pens, and hats. The lingerie section is out. I want to make it clear that I have to put that specially on the social media so you ladies can get to see what I have available. And I want to say to you, please call a number. I want to say to you, stay safe, be careful, sanitize yourself, and wear a mask. Don't forget the little ones you take into public places. This is Dr. Matthews saying thank you. Have a pleasant evening. Cheerios for now.